That probably looked really.
It's like a Batman smoke bomb, yeah, I know.
Oh, that probably looked really terrible. That was fun. That's your clean glass for the next one.
Is it?
So we are back again. And we have 2 more whiskies to try and tell you about. And one of these I am incredibly excited for. I've not poured the one I'm excited for yet.
Oh, alright. What one is it?
That one's that one.
This one?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah, poured that because it's open.
This is not the one you're excited about?
No!
Alright, okay.
This is the one I'm excited about.
Alright, that one. Cool. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
This video has not started off well, has it?
It's fair enough.
Right, so we're going to do the one...
I got confused because you
yeah, sorry. No,
had the notes for the wrong one.
Yeah, sorry, that's my mistake. The production value of these is through the roof. Right, so we're going to go for this first. And this is one I've tried already because you very kindly bought me one.
I did.
And this is the Springbank 12-year-old Cask Strength. I quite like the Springbanks we've had in before, and this is another one we picked up at auction, and it was really, really nice. And when you if you bought me one of these, I didn't know what it was to start with, but it didn't taste like it was Cask Strength. A lot of the Cask Strengths you can really tell, and you end up with the big burn from the alcohol to start with.
I think it depends.
You have to add the water sometimes, but this one was really nice just on its own.
It's the 12-year-old Cask Strength from the 2015 release. It is bottled at 53.2% ABV, which is a great number. It's drawn from a combination of sherry and bourbon barrels. And
probably why I enjoyed it so much.
So, Springbank, this is like a sort of part of their standard range. It's not like a super fancy anything like the next one is. But it's part of their standard range, but obviously they have different releases and different things. So this is part of an older release from 2015. Springbank, I love. They are incredible. As a distillery, they're obviously Campbelltown. Campbelltown has a really nice history of whiskey. Like, it was like a hotbed for illegal, just like illicit stills and things for a long time. At one point there was like maybe I think 13 or 14 distilleries in Campbelltown, and then it sort of dropped back down to maybe 2 or 3. But Springbank has kind of been there for a long time, owned by the Mitchell family, and apparently is one of the oldest family-run independent distilleries in the country.
Really?
That's
news to me. That's very interesting.
Yeah, the Mitchell family have owned it in some way, shape, or form for a long time.
That's pretty cool.
From pretty much when it became a legal distillery to things like that. They've got like Hazelburn. Mm-hmm. They produce for Hazelburn and also for Longrow,
which we have, and I've not tried yet.
They started producing Longrow as I'm not entirely sure I agree with this between time, but like that an Islay type whiskey could be produced on the mainland.
Heavily peated.
Yeah, and a lot of them do it now, but I mean Longrow is one of them. They do that. Longrow Red I've tried, is a really nice one. I think it's matured or finished in red wine cask. It's very, very nice. Like a peatier Islay style dram, they do it there, but they do an awful lot. Springbank, incredible distillery, incredible history, lovely part of the country, awesome.
The whiskey's pretty good as well.
It's wicked, it's beautiful. The 15, man, the green labelled Springbank 15 is amazing.
I've not had it.
I've
only had the Springbanks we've got here.
Unless they've like rapidly changed it in the last wee while and it's become awful, which I doubt. It's beautiful. Really, really nice stuff. Oh. See, there's no... And obviously we've had them sat here for a few minutes while we're chatting, and that initial burny alcohol kind of evaporates a little bit, and you get a little bit more of the actual kind of solute kind of tastes and things. Really nice, but yeah, it's lovely. It's just a beautiful dram.
Why'd you do that to your hand?
Oh, that was a dumb thing.
No, but
it's fine. I went to like a whiskey tasting with Ronnie Cox, who is a wonderful man, and he does a lot of the cask selection and stuff for Glen Rothis. I think he works for Berry Brothers in Rudd. and I went to a tasting a long time ago for what was it? It was Glenrothes Drams, but they also had a couple other bits and bobs. And he said what he does is, particularly with Cask Strength Drams, is he dips his finger in it, and then he rubs it onto the palm of his hand, and the alcohol will evaporate, and what you're left with is the sort of solute, the actual kind of aroma that is sort of, doesn't have any of the alcohol kind of affecting it or affecting you. Now, whether or not that's nonsense, I don't know. But it's something that I do now because he was a nice guy. He was wonderful.
I've seen you do it before. I know what it's for. I just wanted you to explain.
He was a wonderful guy.
Why you would do
he was
such
a really
thing.
nice guy. I could have sat and listened to him talk about whiskey for ages. He like seems really posh, but he's not. I was very, very drunk. Like that man from the Fast Show. He's really, really good. Oh, again, wonderful, buttery, savoury notes coming from that. On the notes, it's really, really lovely. You could spread that on your toast.
It's not a bad idea.
You could really do that. It's very, very nice.
See, I find
legs running down the side. Look at that.
This one I struggle to describe because it's very, very nice, but I can't tell why.
It's complex.
And I think maybe I'm not articulate enough to put it into words as to why I think they're nice and the flavours I get that make it nice. But it is.
So we tried to write down some notes for these things because it was said that we just sort of go, oh, it's really nice, and it's like this.
But sometimes it's tough because like this one, I can't articulate the reasons I find it nice. It hits the palate very well. It doesn't burn, like especially what you'd expect from a Cask Strength.
Springbank
it doesn't
change their.
It doesn't even follow down with a strong burn. It's a really light, buttery taste that you get, but that doesn't do it justice. My words aren't enough to describe what this whiskey deserves.
Well, that's
if that makes sense.
Like you can be the most articulate person in the world, and what you're describing is could be or could not be what the other person is thinking. It's because palates and taste things are very, very subjective and very personal. It's difficult to say these things sometimes. I think Springbank originally, back a long time ago, was way more peated than this. I'm going to ignore that. Was way more peated than this, and then a change in. If you read up again, if you're interested in any of this, if you read up some of the history of Springbank, it's quite interesting. They initially were a far more peated malt than they are now, and a change in the whiskey tastes of the country or where they were selling to led to them changing their sort of recipe and making it a much lighter dram than it maybe used to be. And I'd very much like to try that really, really old Cask. It'd be lovely. But so I mean, like I say, the history of these places is very interesting. If you like your history and you like your drams and things like that, it's worth looking into. Being an old family distillery as well. That disappeared. Like even the savoury notes in that has disappeared since the last time I took a nose of it. And more of a malty.
Yeah, you do get the malt.
You like that weird stuff in a Mars bar that nobody knows what it is.
Pretty sure certain people do know what it is, just we don't.
Yeah, like the brown sludge in a Mars bar before the caramel. That's kind of what. So, anyway, I'll shut up.
You keep going.
But that's it. I mean, I can't. Sometimes I can't say the very thing that I mean, but the first thing that pops into my head, I'm like, it's like that, and
it may not often come off as a compliment. For example,
no, it doesn't.
Describing something as the sludge from a Mars bar.
But I really like Mars bars, so I can't. You know what I mean? That malty, sweet kind of, but then it's got this. It's just super complex, and I just love it for that. Every 30 seconds you go back to it, it's got a little something different to it, and yeah, really, really nice. Springbank, absolutely banging.
See,
I'm going to be good in this because the next dram I know I've got literally no idea about, so
that'll be fun.
It will be fun. It will be fun.
But then I'm in the same boat, so I'm actually going to have a wee bit of water because obviously that's quite a strong one. So
that's what I mean. Like,
makes the water taste nice.
exploding on the taste buds.
Yeah, it does, and it covers your whole mouth.
Absolutely.
And it's this really nice, warm, as you say, buttery kind of flavour to it. But it's not got. I mean, we've had Cask Strengths that.
Christ, I mean,
you try to do that, and you're like, "Oh, my mouth's on fire." That one, it doesn't. It just.
most of these teeth are fake, and I can feel it in there. I mean, like that tells you what it is. It's beautiful, really bitter, lovely, peppery, kind of on the back of your tongue, really exciting.
So even with that water, I can still get the flavours at the back of my
Yeah,
mouth.
you
There,
get
it's not a bad thing. It's really nice.
And there's sherry. And
I'm
get
having more
that
water
little
because
kind of
this next
sweet-
one will be
it's
interesting.
just, I could sit and ponder that for a long, long time. Could
Well, I'll
really
leave you some moments after we're finished for you to do that. But the next one,
Anyway.
the next one I'm super excited
All right,
for.
this is your baby, so
Yes. Well, I just, you know what it is. So I really like this distillery. As you may have seen inside, we have quite a few for them now, and I'm not collecting them as such, but I like a set. We've spoken about this before. I do
Everybody
like
likes a nice set. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So this is from Bruichladdich. This one is we picked up at auction. It is their Micro Provenance series.
An aeroplane going over.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a missile.
Oh, that'd be nice. No, wait till after we finish this, then they can blow us up. I mean, I could edit this out, but it's probably easier just to wait for it to pass. Been anywhere nice this summer?
Nope.
For me either. Anyway, I think that's gone now. So, this is the Bruichladdich
Gutted.
Micro Provenance.
Absolutely gutted.
Micro Provenance series.
See-
The Cask. Oh, we're going to do this again.
Sorry, I just remembered.
That I can't say that word.
Can't say
properly.
that word properly. It's from the Micro Provenance series.
That's what I said. So it's the Cask Evolution Exploration, and I'm going to go through the numbers. So this is
go for it. But like, I'd like to like. Normally, I'm like, oh, I know about this, or I've tried this before. But I got no idea about this one. It looks like a sample of urine. I mean, but it does.
What we just discussed about it.
But it does. I mean, look, it's in, and it is a really nice bottle. It looks lovely. It looks like it should be in like a
display.
like an Erlenmeyer flask or something. You know, like it's sciencey, and it gives you. And we've talked before about how we don't like the romanticized nonsense, and it gives you literally all the numbers. And I'm
But
really,
it's facts.
it's
It's
nice.
It's dry facts.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
You can listen to and you can go, oh, that's really interesting.
Gives you the warehouse number and position of the cask, and the bottle number, the cask number, and I really enjoy that information from a sense of accruing information.
Yeah, and especially because,
about
as we say, we don't like the wanky.
things. But
kind
there's
of
so
thing.
many. Like I tried to do a little bit of research about it.
Yeah, I looked up
And
as
there
well.
are
And it's,
so many different types and different and it's and you know, this is one where I will put my hands up and say I have no idea what this is going to be like.
but what I'm going to do, I will go through the numbers and the details with you that we've got on the bottle, and if you can appreciate the huge amount of information that they give you.
You're
here.
waiting to your whiskey knowledge
Yeah, yeah.
aggregation, then there you go.
So
But
this was distilled in 2004. It's 6 years old. For the first, I believe, like 5.5 years, it was in a bourbon. It tells you it was filled on the 7th of the 7th, 04.
it tells you the oak type
Yeah,
as
it's
well, which is amazing.
Quercus Alba?
Quercus Alba.
I'm assuming that's
Which
a
is white
Scottish natural oak. It's got Alba in it.
Alba's white.
Is it?
Alba means white.
It's a dog, mate. Anyway. And then they finish it off in this one for about half a year, about six months. Yeah.
in Calvados.
Yeah, which
It's unusual for whiskey in itself, Calvados casks. There's not a huge amount of them going around.
which is why I got super excited when I
You
seen this
like
come up
it?
in auction.
I'm not going to lie, I'm proper dubious about this one.
Well, I like it because I like the Bruichladdich, the Cuvée 382, which is another white wine one. It's lovely, and as you can see, I've not even opened this bottle yet.
Do you want me to do it?
No, I've got it.
There's something about it that I'm
have
just
it.
sort
Don't have
of
it.
dubious of.
There we go.
Like they've bombarded you with information
Well,
to make you
you
go,
know,
this has really been thought about,
I mean,
but in
I
actual
don't know,
fact,
'cause-
it's just like, we'll chuck it in that and see how it goes.
But even then, why not? I mean,
I don't like Calvados.
I've never tasted Calvados.
Yeah, you have. We've tried a bunch of these.
Calvados?
Yeah.
Have we?
Yeah. We tried. I'll tell you right now. You tried one at the university whiskey tasting.
Oh, well, there you go then. Well, that. Yeah.
All right. Oh,
It's just that it's obviously been it's been there for some time, certainly. Right.
Okay.
Right, I'm gonna quickly.
Now, if I don't like this, it's by no means a bad thing. Like, my taste is my taste. I'm a weird dude. I have odd tastes. But
certainly,
if for instance I say I don't like this, it doesn't mean it's a bad whiskey. It just means it's not to my taste.
I am properly excited about this.
I know you are.
It's very light. I wonder if that's where they got in the frosted bottle. That's a spot everywhere. That is super light.
But yeah, I know. Like, I'm dubious about it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't.
That might need a moment, but we do have. Just give it a sec. We do have. This is the one of 3 new Bruichladdich we've got in. 2 of the other older ones as well, which I've not tried yet. It'll be interesting.
Ones are old school peated ones, which will be really nice. These are kind of.
This is all their new stuff since their bottles went bright blue. You're
wanky.
You're wanky.
But no, their bottles have been blue for a long time. That colour's been synonymous with Bruichladdich.
I know, but like, I mean, I've seen a lot of the older bottles.
I think they got
the new 10.
I could be wrong.
It's just like a bright blue bottle.
They were bought over a wee while ago, and all of their things kind of reverted back to when that's when you started getting the classic lager as opposed to like a 10-year-old and stuff like that. So I think things changed hands.
Yeah, well then it's all it's probably the same time they started making Octomore.
I don't know.
Because, well, I mean, if they've been brought over, they're doing new stuff, like the experimental Bruichladdich and the Octomores have started coming out as well to try new things. So the Octomores are also the stupidly peated things.
See, like that, it's nice.
And the Port Charlotte ones are very nice as well.
It's got some nice sort of spirity, but like, again, I just don't think I like Calvados. It's appley, cidery weirdness, and I don't know whether
Sounds like you just described me.
I don't know whether I know it's in there and that's what's making me think, oh, I don't like this. Or like if you'd given me that and not told me what it was, whether it would have had an effect or not.
Because you tried the Cuvée 382 the other month when I bought one and had a wee taste of it, and I think you liked the smell of it, and you tried it and went, oh no, I don't know what that is. That's weird. I don't like it. That's off. I don't.
But that's my own personal palate.
Oh yeah, I mean, I tanked the rest of that. It was lovely.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just some things I think they're maybe trying to. I don't know. I'm by no means a connoisseur or expert. I'm an enthusiast at best, but I just think there's maybe just too much going on in that to try and be. And I like exploration and things in whiskey. I think some of the rules we have for whiskey sort of make us not explore certain possibilities. Like Calvados, again, it could be really nice. You probably absolutely love it. It's just a thing. It's not my taste, but great.
Not as sweet as I thought it would be.
Yeah. No, it's certainly not. It's got something in that back. I'm gonna say this is really weird, but something in that top left nostril.
Very specific.
That is odd. That I kind of like, and I don't understand, but
that's interesting.
It's certainly very interesting. As if you're gonna,
it's not bad. I mean,
it's not something that I would buy to be like, oh, I'm gonna sit down and really enjoy this. If I was like, oh, I want to try something different that's gonna make me think, I definitely have that, or the cuvee, and I guess that is what these are for. It's like a cask. It says cask exploration, so I guess they're just chucking it in anything they can find and seeing what it.
That's nice. That's very enjoyable, but I can't.
It's not
get the flavors from it. I can't.
It's not my taste.
I get the bourbon. You can tell it was a bourbon cask.
There's something up here I don't like.
I don't know how much of the. the Calvados finish. I can get through it.
There is a cidery sweetness to that. You don't get it. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, but in the nose, just in the nose, there's a certain apple cidery sweetness.
As I'm rolling it around my mouth, I'm finding different bits it's hitting, and I'm getting the different flavors from it.
I guess that's what it's there for. And
it's bloody interesting anyway.
Let's face it.
I guess that's the idea.
We're all the same. They can try their hardest to make it sound like they know exactly what they're doing, but chances are they might have just gone, "I'll chuck it in here and see if it happens." Like, which is what occurs in distilleries.
Yeah,
they're,
well,
they're
I mean,
only
yeah.
human.
If you don't know how something's going to turn out, there is only one way to find out, and that's to go and do it. So if they've got
there was a new Ardbeg came out once, and I have friends who work for Ardbeg, and I didn't know what it was, and they didn't give you any information. I really wanted to know, so I just messaged her. I was like, "Look, just tell me what it is. I don't want your company line.
Give me the scoop.
Just tell me what it is." And she gave me the company line, and then she went, "It's basically they've chucked it in what they've got, and we'll see how it goes."
Yeah,
and that is.
But that's
the case
fine.
for a lot of things.
If you certainly won't say to this, it's boring.
Very similar to some of these light wine finished like Glenmorys and things like that, and I am not a fan.
I do think it's got more to it than a Glenmory does.
It does, but it puts me in mind of these lighter. Drams.
I mean, in colour alone, it's very light taste. It's not got a big punch to it at all. It's very smooth. I think when you roll it around, you get more of the sweetness. It's obviously very sweet for you. More difficult for me because I really enjoy sweet drinks, but it's not a face of a man who's enjoyed that.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Do you want a straw in the bottle so you can try?
Yeah. No, I don't think I do. It's got a lot more on the nose than it does on the palate in that.
There's more subtlety in the nose. I think the flavours are packed in the palate and I can't discern different things. Or maybe there's not very much there. Or maybe I just can't tell.
It's weird, yeah.
And then you get, there's a light flavour at the end of that, like that I'm getting now after that taste. Right at the back of your mouth.
Not to my liking.
I would certainly have another one of those. I definitely would.
Very, very nice to try. Very interesting to discuss. But if I was going to sit down and really enjoy a dram in my flat, if I'm sitting watching Bob's Burgers, having a dram, I wouldn't hate it.
It wouldn't be your afternoon whiskey you introduced to your DVD collection.
I'd like to know if anybody's German or speaks German.
Yeah, so we noticed something else about this bottle that we think it was. Well, it says exclusively bottled for. Now, will I try it?
No,
I want to try it.
Okay, you're going to offend a lot
Hans
of people.
in Schinchi.
Hans
Schlecht Bremen. So what I'll do is I'll hold it up, and if anyone can tell us how that's actually said or what it is,
I'm assuming it's just a German drinks distributor.
Yeah, but that's really cool. I'm not gonna lie, I like it a little bit extra if I know this has been to Germany and back. I don't think it has been because it's not got the it's got the UK market thing.
But it hasn't because it would have an import
label
that's
on
what I mean,
it.
But that's on the bottle.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. So like, why is it say it's bottled for? Maybe there were certain ones they kept back for here, so they bottled it for them, but they kept.
And that's what I'm going to say. I tried to do a little bit of research. I tried to do a little bit of research on most of the drams that we tried, but this one is just I think I need a degree to figure out what's going on.
I looked up their site
here.
and stuff, and I found that it's got the information on current ones, but very little on any previous ones I could see on the site.
Just have to kind of figure out where to go. But this is. And there's so many different. I've enjoyed trying it. If I was going to have
really
a dram,
interesting.
If I was going to have a dram,
that or the cuvee.
If you watched any of these videos, you probably figured out you're either into Darren's tasting whiskey or you're into my tasting whiskey. Now, if you're into Darren's tasting whiskey, yes, I would say that's very worthwhile trying, and you'll probably enjoy it. If you're into my kind of drams,
Lorraine and Claire,
and Bosie.
They're not probably going to enjoy this very much.
And there's a bunch of guys, there are people who and it's very, very interesting to try
Not one you'll pick off the shelf straight away.
No, I wouldn't.
Which leads me
I would
to
say
be very
that's a
interested in
particular taste.
when we at some point we will try the Bruichladdich the peated one, which will be interesting because obviously all their stuff's unpeated.
Yeah, and it's peated for. I think it's a particular bottling. It's a particular bottling.
This is only our second video.
A man who was a peat cutter.
Yes.
On Islay.
Yeah. Norrie Campbell.
Norrie Campbell, there you go. And he was a peat cutter on Islay, so they bottled this very particular tasting dram.
Yeah,
super peaty,
so
unusual Bruichladdich.
I looked it up about to see who it's named after, and it turns out he was a very interesting man.
Yeah, he's just like one of these boys on Islay that's done the same job for 85 trillion years.
At some point, we'll probably do a video on that one as well. Not this week. We've already selected the ones we're ready to do now, but. I found that super interesting. It won't be one I would go for very often, but it's nice and it's interesting, and to rattle your mouth and give you some what you doing right now. Like you know what I mean, like because you can taste something and it's just like that was nice and your mouth enjoys it, and that goes, are you enjoying me? Aren't you? Who knows? That's what whiskey says.
And like I say, as a lighter dram. I would, if I'm going to go for a lighter dram, I would much prefer, for my palate, something like the Daft Mill that we tried before. That is that very light, but also has a lot going. Like light doesn't necessarily mean dull, and that Daft Mill represents that for me. Whereas it's a lot of things going on, but are they fairly represented in the dram? I don't really know. Well,
there you go. So that's another 2 whiskies tested for you.
There you go. I mean, so we're not just here to show you things you should buy from us.
Yeah, because you would.
We're going to be fair.
Would probably not buy that.
I would no. I'm not going to. I mean, yeah, absolutely try it for your own interest. Yeah, and some of you might love it, and that's the thing. What at the end
we
of the
say
day,
it all the time.
At the end of the day, what do I know? I know what I like, but you guys could love it, and it's a very interesting dram. I can see how lots of people would like it, but it's just not my thing.
So that is another one down. We will have one more of these videos this week, and just as a reminder, this should be on the Wednesday. The next video will be Friday, and then Sunday the Virtual Whiskey Club is back again. 23rd, 5 new drams, the strongest one we've had. We're so dead. We will see you then. And hopefully you enjoy this video and the next one and getting absolutely steaming on Sunday.
Tell all our one.